beautiful people, it's Bridget. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having an awesome day, and today's video is finally going to be a review of the Magic Star concealer, and we're also be testing out the setting powder today in the shade Rose. So we're going to be testing out this concealer today. We're going to be trying it on one side with my normal setting powder, on the other side with the Jeffree Star powder. I'll let you decide which one is which right now, and today we're going to test this product out. So without any further ado, let's jump into the video. Alright guys, before we get started, all makeup on this channel is cruelty free and so is Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Also, this product is vegan, just in case you're wondering about that. So let's go ahead and get started. I bought the shade C2 for the concealer, and I also bought the shade Rose of the setting powder. This is not my dedicated video on the Rose setting powder. It will be in tomorrow's video where I test it out with a whole bunch of different concealers, including the Jeffree Star one. So today we're just testing out the concealer. So let's go ahead and get started talking about the product. So both the setting powder and the concealer are both $22 each. The concealer comes in 30 different shades. I chose the shade C2 because the one I wanted, C3, was unavailable at the time I was checking out. So I have C2 here. It is a very, very fair shade with a neutral undertone, and I have more of a cool tone undertone, so I figured this was a good fit. And now let's get started with the try-on portion of this video because I just want to test it out. I feel like we don't need to drag this video on forever. Alright, hi guys. So before we get to the try-on portion of the video, I did want to show you my skin before I prime and foundation it. I just want to show you what kind of dark circles I'm working with. It's actually pretty decent today. I feel like this is pretty dark. Mostly when I turn to angles, you can kind of see a lot of blue and purple coming through under here. But it's like, it's not the worst. Like from a distance, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. And I also have like a lot of pinky undertones and cool tone. This way you can see blue coming through. But mostly this is my concern, because even the Shape Tape, I can still kind of see it, but you know, it does a pretty good job of covering. So I'm going to go prime and do my foundation. I'll be right back so we can test out the setting powder and the concealer. Okay, so my foundation is on. I use the Tarte Base Tape as my primer, which I really love. It smells great. And then I use the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, which I think is really consistent and it wears really well. So for our wear test, I don't want my foundation to be really bad, and then it makes the concealer look bad, so I chose two really good go-to products. So I'm going to do the concealer. Now I'm going to do the concealer on both sides. We'll use my regular setting powder on one side, and we'll use the Jeffree Star setting powder on one side just to see the difference. So this is the shade C2, which I didn't know was going to be this light. Like, I swatched it on my hand a little bit ago, and it's like, it's real light. I really wanted C3, but Beautylish said it was sold out, and then like later that day it restocked it. So that kind of sucks, but I got C2, so we're going to work with. If it's too light for me, I will trade it in for a different shade. If there's any available, I don't know. But let's... It's so light. Okay, we're testing the formula, not my color match. I did a terrible job. I was in the car ordering this, and it was just like, I don't know what shade I need. Not that one. I mean, I am going to give Jeffree some credit here. Because normally shades are too dark for me, but this is way too light for me, so great job on the fair shade range. I will give him that. So let's blend this out. I can't tell what the coverage is until I really blend it. And I will test this on my tattoos as well. Okay, when I blend it out, it really doesn't look too light. Like, compared to the rest of my foundation, this doesn't look too light. I don't know, maybe it's when it's blended out it doesn't look as scary. So I can still see the purple here. You can also see like the indentation where my bag is, but I can still see the purple coming through right here. But like from a distance, it looks pretty good. But like you can still definitely see the darkness. Maybe we'll add an extra layer just to make sure. Of course, I could have bought the color corrector. The orange one cancels, yeah, orange cancels out the purple. But I just thought it was kind of expensive for a color corrector. I prefer using like a pinky and some eyeshadow, like orange eyeshadow, for a color corrector. But if you're into color correctors, maybe you'd want a huge tube of it. I just don't personally want that. Okay, so I really tried not to touch it too much, but like I can see a lot of the purple coming through, even like the blue in the inner corner, I can see that coming through, and on this side. And then this, I don't think that looks too bad. Like you can see like where my skin sinks in a little bit, but obviously the color right there doesn't look too bad. But you can see, I don't know how to show you this angle that I can see on this side. You can see a lot of the blue coming through. You can see a lot of purple coming through over here. So I'm going to add more. I don't want a cake concealer on, but I'm gonna take some concealer on. I'm gonna add a little bit more where I think it's needed. I can see a lot of the blue coming through the most. Like the purple right here, unless it's like caked on, I think you're still gonna see purple, but I can still see a lot of the blue coming through too, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. So I feel like this is as good as it's gonna get for my under eyes. Okay, maybe blend this a little bit. But this is my under eyes right now. This side looks really good. Like I can still see some blue coming through right here, but this side looks really good. This is just always gonna be really dark. See, this is just bag area, but this is really dark. But I think that's just how my under eyes are. So I'm going to do the setting powder now. So now I'm going to set my under eyes. I'm going to take my normal setting powder, the CoverFX Perfect Setting Powder, and set this side of my face. And I will take the Jeffree Star and set this side. But what I normally do is I use the sponge for the under eyes, really set that, and then I'll set the rest of my face with a brush. I'm very particular and picky about setting powders, just because most of them make my under eyes look real yellow, which is why I got the shade Rose for the Jeffree Star setting powder. Just because I am like really picky about setting powders, and I really like the CoverFX one. Like if you haven't tried it, if it ever goes on sale again on Ulta, because like the 21 days went half price one day, it's really good setting powder. Or get like a sample or like a travel sized one at Sephora or Ulta at the checkout counter. That's why I first tried it out as like the sample area. It's real good. Or I guess it's not a sample area, it's a checkout area. And now for this side, I'm going to use the Jeffree Star powder. Look how good that setting powder made my face look on this side. Like that's looking good. So before this creases on me, I'm going to take the Jeffree Star. I got the shade Rose because it said it was for fair undertones, and it's more like a pinky instead of a yellow, which is great. It came a little bit dirty, but that's to be expected through traveling. And I'm going to peel the little seal off here. It's all flying through the air. Now, I don't know about you guys, personal preference. I don't like this little sifter like these. Like Beauty Bakery has this on theirs too. I don't like that. Just because I like it to be easy to pop out. Like a plastic one. Like you can see I popped out my CoverFX one. Because when you're getting down to the end of the barrel, the end of the container, it's a lot easier when it's easy to pop out. But I mean, I'm sure you can remove this. It just seems a little more difficult. So I'm going to take the Beauty Blender again. Pick up some of the Jeffree Star powder. I don't know how much I need, so I'm going to start off light. And just set my under eyes. I didn't smell the concealer. I'll smell it in a second. But the setting powder smells really good and sweet. It smells delicious. Like it makes me want a sundae. It kind of smells like confectioner sugar or like icing. If you put I don't know. It just smells deliciously sweet. So I do notice a lot of the powder from the Jeffree Star one going into the air, which isn't a big issue. It's powder. I just feel like it's kind of going up my nose a little bit, which I don't really have that much of an issue with the CoverFX one doing that. But it has happened with other setting powders. It's not just this one. One other thing about this kind of sifter that I don't like is that when you have too much and you put too much and you try to close the sifter, there's still a whole bunch up here. Like not more is going to come out, which is great. It's just kind of a messy container to me. Okay, so my face is set now. I'm going to do contour, blush, highlight, the whole everything finished up, and I'll be right back with my finished face so we can compare and contrast. Alright guys, so I'm back, and let's just say my under eyes are really light. It looks okay on camera, but like it's a little too bright. I like brightening under the eyes, but it's a little bit much under there. I should have got like one shade deeper, like a C3 I think would have been better than C2. But of course that wasn't available, right? So let's start talking about the quality of the products. I want you to know that I am doing a video on the setting powder alone tomorrow after I do like a really good test of it. I want to test both the concealer and the setting powder with other products. I know a lot of people are just going to test these two things together, but if you just bought the concealer or you just bought the setting powder, I want to give a really good review of it because hey, some people might not want the concealer, some people might not want the setting powder. So I wanted to test this with like other products, and I also wanted to test the setting powder with like different concealers, different formulations, so I'm going to do that in tomorrow's video. But let's start talking about what I think, besides the fact that I got a shade too light. So this is the side we set with the Jeffree Star side. Like yeah, sure, if we twist my head we can see this, like it's never gonna go away. But I think from a distance, like this looks pretty decent. Isn't like the most coverage thing in the world? No, but I don't think it looks terrible either. This is the Cover FX setting powder and the Jeffree Star concealer. I like this side so much better. I feel like you can still see a little bit of blue coming through it here, but it's really not bad at all. This amount of purple for my under eyes did get covered up quite nicely, way more than this one did. So I don't know about that yet, but this one was just a lot more intense, so I probably need to color correct this, and then I think it'd cover pretty well, because I think overall the coverage is quite nice. And then under here on my chin and stuff, like all the redness and all this discoloration, even in the center of my nose, looks pretty decent. Like, I'm not mad at the coverage. But now I'm going to cover up my tattoo with some concealer. We're going to see how much product I need. Do I think it'll work? And I'm also going to like maybe set it. I'm just going to see what I need. We're going to do a little bit of a test on my tattoo, and then we'll do a wear test. So here is my Edward Scissorhands tattoo, and I'm just going to cover up his face. Their faces. I'm going to cover up their faces with the concealer, just what's on the wand. I'm going to blend this out a little bit and see. That's, other than the fact that this is really light and I've been getting a lot of tan on my arms lately, I'm going to grab some more and kind of layer it up a little bit. Specifically on their faces. Of course it's going to be blended out towards it, but I'm really focusing on their faces. So yes, I can still see their faces, but I do think this is actually really good coverage for black tattoos. I'm gonna try this purple one as well, because I feel like black's just, I don't know, purple is really hard to cover. So I'm going to wipe this off, and then we'll try this one. Okay, so, explanation point. I feel like this doesn't have as much product in it as I would think it would. So I'm gonna just tap this. Oh yeah, purple is just trickier, I think, to cover up. But I do think if you color corrected that, that would eventually disappear. Like, if it was the right shade and you color corrected the purple, I think it would disappear. Alright, so I'm gonna go do a little bit of a wear time test, and I will be right back. Okay, so wear time test is over. It's only been about 3 hours since you last saw me, so I pretty much look the same. But let's talk about what I think about the concealer. Not really the powder, because we do have to test that with other things. Some powders are weird with other things. But the concealer. So, if I had the correct shade, which wasn't way too light for me, I think I'd really like the concealer. Is it the most spectacular thing in the world? No. Is it to Shape Tape quality? I'm torn on that, because I really love Shape Tape, and I feel like you get a lot more product, like it lasts a really long time. I'm not sure this would last you quite as long, but I also really like the formula of this one. I think it's really good. I have dry under eyes. My under eyes feel pretty good right now. It's not very drying under there. I feel like it's a pretty good concealer. Is it going to change your life? Is this a product I would say is your holy grail you have to have? No. I think if you have a concealer you like the Born This Way from Too Faced, people love. The Tarte Shape Tape, I love. I would say stick with it if you love it, but if you are tired of your concealer, you want to try a new one, I do think this would be a safe bet for you. The formula is good. It is good coverage. I feel like if you don't have a lot of purple under your eyes, or you can color correct the purple out, I feel like this side looks really good for my under eyes. I think it looks really nice. I also think like it's not very drying. I have dry under eyes, and I feel like both sides of my under eyes today aren't very dry. I feel like it's kind of nice. I really do like the concealer. Not the biggest fan in the world of the packaging. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of like how much product you get, because I do wish you had more product in here. But like, it's not a bad concealer. It's really not. I do kind of like it. I think the coverage is good. I think I'm going to return this one and get the correct shade for myself, just because I have been getting a lot of a tan lately, like on my arms and stuff. And now I need to start tanning my face more, because it just looks kind of odd, the difference. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you got the Jeffree Star concealer, let me know what you think. If you were excited about tomorrow's setting powder video, give me a thumbs up on this video and consider subscribing to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I do review all of the new Jeffree Star launches, so if you like Jeffree Star products and you want a thorough, honest review regardless of, you know, Jeffree not liking me or whatever, I will definitely give you a 100% honest review on it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.